Hello, everyone. This is your ACA, American Canoe Association website tutorial. So just to kick us all off, you can find this website at americancanoe.org. And American Canoe Association's tagline is making the world a better place to paddle since 1880. So the organization has been around for quite some time, and it focuses on a little bit of stewardship, education, and competition. Those are the three big pillars within the ACA. And of course, there are a variety of disciplines and crafts. So what I'm going to do in this tutorial is go through a couple of these headings. As new instructors, it's important for you to be aware of the education tab. So if you go to the website, and please go on and explore the ACA website on your own, watch this tutorial, and then go click around and become familiar with it, because as an ACA instructor, you are going to use this a lot. So go to education, and then there's a variety of information about taking a paddling class. This is where your guests are going to find some of your classes, some of the types of programs. They can find an instructor, all of these bits and pieces. If you go to types of courses, this is going to give you an overview of taking a paddling class. The ACA offers skills courses, skills assessments, instructor certifications, endorsements, and paddle sport safety facilitator. As a level 1, level 2 instructor, you are going to be able to teach skills courses, and I'll show you where you can find some of those templates. When you are teaching a skills course, you can teach any information that you are certified to teach. You can teach all of it, you can teach part of it. You could have a 1-hour class, you could have an 8-hour class. It's up to you, and as long as you teach some of the components of the level you are certified, it counts for that level. So if you're teaching some level 2 curriculum, it would count as a level 2 course. It doesn't mean you have to complete an entire 8 hours to be able to do a level 2 course. It has to have components. So it's up to you as to what your courses look like. You have the ability to design them, but there are some examples on the ACA website if that helps get you started. You'll also have the ability to do skills assessments. And so skills assessments are basically, it's not a course, it's someone is coming to you and you're saying, yes, they can do this, they can do this, they can do this. Of course, you can put it together in a fun class atmosphere instead of just a checklist, but you are basically saying that, yes, someone is capable of being able to do these things. They might need it for an employer, but not quite need a certification. So you as a level 1, level 2 can again teach skills courses and skills assessments. Within the ACA, you're going to see additional items, instructor certifications. That is obviously what you are here for today, is to become an instructor. So you cannot certify other instructors. You have to be an instructor trainer, which is what I am, to be able to do that. Above me and the people who trained me to become an instructor trainer are instructor trainer educators. So that's kind of the 3 levels within ACA: instructors, instructor trainers, instructor trainer educators. After you have your instructor certification, you can also get endorsements. I'll show you where some of those are. For stand-up paddleboarding, it's stuff such as SUP yoga, it's adaptive paddling, and it is also a paddle sports safety facilitator. As a level 1 and 2, you cannot teach this until you get an endorsement to teach it. At level 3 and above, you can automatically teach it. So these are the courses. And again, think in your head, you can teach skills courses and skills assessments, but the ACA offers these 5 types of courses. There are a variety of disciplines that the ACA offers. You can see all of them here. Obviously, you are taking stand-up paddleboarding for this, but you might be interested in also getting kayaking, canoeing, just diversifying some of your skills to make you a more well-rounded instructor. So keep all of those opportunities in mind. If you go down to stand-up paddleboarding, you can extend the menu here. You can see level 1, introduction to stand-up paddleboarding, as well as level 2, essentials of stand-up paddleboarding. We're going to look through those. And then if you want to continue, level 3 splits into a variety. It splits into river stand-up paddleboarding, and then it also goes to surf stand-up paddleboarding, as well as coastal stand-up paddleboarding. You can look through the instructor criteria to see what those would take if that interests you. Within whitewater, it goes up to level 4 and level 5. And then there's also a stand-up paddleboarding day trip skills assessment, as well as the SUP yoga endorsement that we talked about and the paddle sports safety facilitator. I want you to take time to look through on your own the level 1 and level 2 as it pertains to the course that you're taking. I want you to start looking at the instructor criteria. This is what you have to be able to do to be able to take the instructor course. So this is what we are evaluating you on. These are the essential eligibility criteria, information that you need to be able to know, to be able to perform before you complete the course. We'll talk about this more in our risk management module. You can see course prerequisites, so you should come with knowledge and ability to be able to do these skills at an instructor course. You can see who can teach it, so I can teach you this course. The course duration, so a level 1 is 2 days. The course venue, so if you are getting certified at level 1, your venue that you're taking students to has to be flat water, protected from wind, waves, and outside boat traffic with current less than 0.5 knots and within swimming distance of shore. So you want to make sure your venue is appropriate to that. Your class ratio can be 1 instructor to 5 candidates, which is what we are going to do, and we can go up to 10 to 2 as long as we have a qualified assistant. You can go through and look through all of these bits and pieces, including maintenance requirements. I'll talk more about this in a little bit. And as you go through, you'll also notice that level 1 talks about this NOWS standard, the National On-Water Standards for Human-Powered Craft. I will revisit that a little bit and where you can find that information, but that will be important for level 1. It has the strokes that you have to be able to teach, as well as the maneuvers at level 1. So definitely look through this, become familiar. If you have questions, definitely let me know. Also, if it pertains to you, look through that of level 2. You're going to see they have a very similar format as you are going through them. So you can see level 2 is a 4-day course, 32 hours, up to 8 hours can be virtual. And you can see that the venue increases with level 2. So access to safe landing within 0.5 nautical miles. Wind increases. Instead of void or not much wind protected, it's 5 to 10 knots, and then you can have current up to 2 knots. Ratio is going to be pretty much the same, and you can see the maintenance requirements are going to be the same as well. And then we get into the skills, so a little bit more on stances, footwork, strokes, maneuvers to be able to do for level 2, as well as rescues and SUP knowledge, all of which was included in the evaluations that we showed you in the other module and that I will show you in the CMS module as well. In addition to learning about the instructor criteria, remember I said you can teach skills courses as well as skills assessments. So here is a sample skills course for level 1. So if you're not sure how you are going to set up your class, this is an example of how you could do that. If you have a shorter one, here's another example. So you can look through and get some ideas to be able to offer a course here for level 1. For level 2, you're going to see something similar with different skills. So kind of a setup of things that you should cover when you are teaching them. Remember, you don't have to teach everything for it to count as a as a skills course to be able to report it, but you have to teach part of that information. Skills assessments are something you can also do. So level 1 skills assessment is going to look like this. So essentially you're going to put together the course and you are checking preparing to depart. Can they do that? The maneuvers that they have to be able to perform, the rescue and safety and technical knowledge, and you're basically saying yes they can do it or no they can't, and then you can turn this into the ACA. You have this again for level 1 and level 2, different skills based on whether it's level 1 or level 2, and you can write any comments there. So courses and assessments are something that you are able to teach. So again, look through those. When you go to the education, you also have the essential eligibility criteria. They were on the instructor criteria. Recently at an SEIC meeting, this is moved to be able to be a link that will take you to something that looks like this instead of on the instructor criteria. So make sure you are aware of the essential eligibility criteria. Again, we'll talk about that in the risk management module as well. All right, so as we go along for ACA instructors, of course, this is you. So for ACA instructors, you want to be familiar with this. You can click on this tab and it will bring you to tiles that have all the information, or you can equally go down here. The course management system is going to be a separate module. It's going to show you what that looks like. Here's how you will log into it. You're essentially going to click here to log in. You're going to click read more to log in versus here. That's not a hyperlink, this is. And then if you want to use the training system, you have the ability to do that. Again, this will be a separate module, and there's user guide information down here. Back on the ACA website, we have course curriculum. You'll notice that this looks exactly like the types of courses that we just went to. So you can click stand-up paddleboarding and find those here as well. Instructor policies and procedures. This is something you want to become familiar with as an instructor. So this is kind of your FAQs and resources. So what can you teach? We just went through this, that you can teach skills courses and skills assessments. Can you certify other instructors? That is a no as an instructor. You have to be an instructor trainer, which if you're interested, you can work towards becoming an instructor trainer. There's information about that online as well. But skills courses and skills assessments are what you are able to teach. Here's information about the ratios that are also on the instructor criteria. So again, basically a 1:5 ratio for stand-up paddleboarding. All right, so how do you post your information online to the calendar if you want to get other people there, and how do you get insurance? This is going to be done through the course management system. There's information on here as well. If you come up to insurance, I'll show you that in a little bit. But you essentially, to get insurance, need to be a current ACA member, pay your SEIC dues. Safety, Education, and Instructor Council are those dues. You want to make sure that it's at the appropriate level, and you need to have your CPR first aid. There is a fee to be able to get insurance, but it is pretty reasonable, and so I'll show you that in a second. You also need to maintain your first aid and your CPR certification. Other things you have to do to maintain your certification. So your certification will be good for 4 years. It expires December 31st of that 4th year. It will never expire mid-year or anything like that. It's always at the end. And as long as you do this, it will renew. So you need to maintain your annual ACA membership and SEIC registration. So you had to be a member to take this instructor course. And then afterwards, you can pay your SEIC registration dues through the e-store. You must teach and properly report a minimum of 2 classes every 4 years. That's 2 classes every 4 years. At least 1 class should be at your highest level of certification. If you're a level 1, it'll all be at your highest level. If you are a level 2, then you need to have at least 1 at level 2, and you can have other ones at level 1. And I'll show you how to report those on the course management system. You must also successfully complete an instructor update during the certification period. Those updates can take a couple of methods. One, you can attend a 1-day instructor update course at your highest level. You can also assist with an IDW or ICE at your highest level. Of course, you need to work with an IT to be able to do that. Or you could co-teach a skills course with an IT at your highest level. So those are the things you have to do to maintain your certification during that 4 years. If you need any administration extensions for your certification or anything like that, here's where you find that information. And again, the essential eligibility criteria is listed here for you as well. Again, that can all be found under instructor policies and procedures. The PSF is the Paddle Sports Safety Facilitator program, and so you can read more about this. Again, you are not certified to teach this until you get an endorsement. And here are additional endorsements that you can look at. So if you want to get more into adaptive paddling, this is more of adjusting devices for physical needs. Advanced communications is more for visual, hearing, or cognitive disabilities. You can also do SUP yoga and find out more information here. And then that paddle sports safety facilitator. Those are the ones that are relative to SUP. Of course, there are other endorsements. A great thing about being an ACA instructor is that it does make you eligible for some cool pro deals and discounts. So if you are looking for some new gear, you can use your instructor certification to get them. Here are a list of companies that work with ACA to be able to get them. Follow the procedures here and go through based on the brand, but this is updated for you to be able to look through. Another advantage is I'm going to pop over to community real quick. Another advantage for ACA members is ACA owns 2 properties, Camp Sebago and Sugar Island. You can click on these and you can visit these properties. All the information is available here online. Back to the education, if you're interested in becoming an instructor trainer, here's information to do that. I've been talking a bit about SEIC and what that looks like. So the SEIC, again, is Safety Education and Instruction Council. The SEIC is a group of ACA members who volunteer to be able to increase the curriculum and keep it up to date. So as you get more involved in the ACA, you have the opportunity to be involved with this. I know when I first got started as an ACA instructor, it seemed like there was so many things. It was so broad, but then I went to an instructor conference, so you will have the opportunity to go to instructor conferences. And when I went there, I found out that it's actually not that hard to be part of the Safety Education Instruction Council. So I encourage you, if you are interested, these are the executive committee right now. Each discipline committee has someone who is serving as the president, the chair, as well as the vice chair, secretary, and then additional members. You get to vote who is part of those members, and they meet on a consistent basis. I'm actually part of the subcommittee, so if you have questions and want to be involved, please ask me. And you can see there is a link here to the policy manual. I'm going to include this in your email, but you should be aware of how things are created for the curriculum that you're teaching. So take time to be able to read through that. That doesn't have to be read before the course. You can read this after you become certified, but the operating procedures are here as well. And then parliamentary procedures, this is how things are voted on during the SEIC meetings, and I'll show you where you can find that information as well on the course management system during that portion. If you need a waiver for anything, you can apply it here. And then I did say you have to pay your SEIC dues after you're certified. This is the link to be able to do it. Make sure you're logged in, and it's $30 instead of the $50. You can just pay online. So that is what the SEIC portion is going to do. You can see meetings from the you can see minutes from the last meeting. You can also easily access this from the course management system, which I will show you shortly. All right, there's also Instructor of the Month program. So if you want to nominate somebody to be an Instructor of the Month, there are opportunities to be able to do that as well as an ACA Instructor Scholarship Program. So lots of opportunities within the ACA, which is primarily a volunteer-run organization. So it's very cool to be part of that. You can also look over here for youth paddling development, as well as a resource library. So you can find a variety of educational videos as part of the ACA. So look through these at your leisure. There's one for stand-up paddleboarding. And then if you scroll down to paddle sports standards, I talked a little bit about the NOWS document. So the NOWS document is particularly important to Level 1, and of course then follows through the rest of the curriculum. It is a 130-page document, so it can be a bit overwhelming. Not before the course, but at some point, not a bad idea to look through the NOWS document. You can see they have operation numbers, and then they have proficiency descriptions. So it's basically creating an opportunity of combining all of the paddle sports programs and saying this is what we need people to be able to do at certain levels. Because that is a large document, if you click on this one, it is a nice summary of what NOWS is. And so the National On-Water Standards, there are 7 things that people need to be able to do. So look through this summary. Not a bad idea to print this out so that you are aware of it. It kind of matches some of the language that is on your evaluation as well. So when you are doing paddling, can somebody prepare to depart? Kind of with leave no trace, can they plan ahead and prepare? It's looking at the 4 W's, the weather, wind, waves, water. What's the environment doing? What are the risks? Can they put on a life jacket? Can they inspect their craft to make sure it's ready? Are they ready to get on the water? Once they're ready to get on the water, can they leave the departure point? Can they launch, essentially, from a variety of locations? Once they're in the water and it's a tight space by the dock, can they properly propel their craft? Can they move it forward? Can they stop? Can they turn? Can they go sideways? And then a figure 8 course. This is similar to what you see on your level 1 and level 2 instructor criteria. In open water, can you do some of those same maneuvers? When you're finished with your paddle, can you easily exit the dock from a variety of positions? And then can you secure your boat when you are finished paddling? And then, of course, being able to perform general safety and emergency procedures. Can you, if your boat flips over, get back in? Can you help someone else get back in? What if there is cold water? How do you deal with hypothermia? Do you have the ability to use safety equipment? So this kind of is a quick summary of the NOWS document and also goes along with the instructor criteria. Please become familiar with this information. And then there's additional safety reports that you can learn down here. So that is the educational tab. In addition to education, we said there is competition. So if you're interested in the competition side, you can look through all of these bits and pieces. And then there is stewardship. So stewardship, we have a variety of partners within the ACA. So if you scroll down, you can see who some of the partners are. There's information about Leave No Trace. If you're not familiar with Leave No Trace, definitely check it out. There are 7 principles of Leave No Trace. So planning ahead and preparing for your trip. Again, those 4 W's, what you look for, making sure that you dispose of waste properly. So if you have a granola bar out there, you're not leaving the wrapper there. Respecting wildlife that you see in your marine environment, and then being considerate of others. People are out on the water for a variety of reasons. Some people are fishing, some people are in powerboats, some people are paddling. How can we respect and grow the community on the water? And then a variety of partnerships that we are involved in with stewardship. If you are interested in more policy information, you can stay aware. The ACA is a big advocacy group for a variety of water paddle sports related initiatives. Within the community piece, you can find out more information about the ACA, the history, so make sure you click through all of this to learn more about the ACA. It's also important to know that the ACA values diversity, equity, and inclusion and has recently created has a DEI statement as well as a board committee, and recently hired an ACA staff who is the DEI coordinator. So if you want to get more involved in this, you definitely can, and you can see information here about that. So again, on the community, know that there is a state director program. So in addition to there being a subcommittee group that you can go to and help do the curriculum, there's a state director program. So you can go through on your state and see who is in charge at the different state levels. You can contact your state director. So lots of opportunities here as well. All right. Here are the properties that I talked about. And then there are also another benefit is the Paddle e-magazine. So you can get this so it's emailed to you, but you can also easily come here, get the current issue, as well as look at past issues to keep you up to date on paddle sports and growing trends. So a great opportunity to look at within the community tab as well. The last bit to be able to look at on the ACA website portion is going to be the insurance. So if you need insurance to teach your course, you can look at for instructors portion. And so you can see insurance is done through the CMS, the course management system, which will be an additional module that we are going to look through. And here are some of the information and the requirements you need to know. Anyone who is taking your ACA course that is insured, they do have to be either a ACA individual member or they have to pay an event membership fee of $10. So if you're putting on a course, you will be charging just $10 for anyone who's not an ACA member. But the great thing about the insurance is it's super affordable for you to be able to do it. I believe currently it's $20 to be able to get ACA insurance. If you need to name someone else as additional insured, maybe you're on their property or with another organization, it's an additional $20. And then if you have a rush fee, it's an additional $25. All of this is done through the course management system as well as paid through via the e-store. It's pretty easy to be able to set up. Do know that people need to fill out the waiver. There's one for adults and one for youth. And I will talk more about the ACA waiver as part of the risk management module as well. And then there are certain things you have to do after the course, paying any additional fees if you had non-members, and then different information here if you need it. So that is an overview of the ACA website and everything that you need to know. Please, again, go through, click on a variety of these tabs and be prepared for the course to be able to answer anything about the ACA. As kind of making sure that you got all the way through this video, I am putting a little bit of homework here for the ACA. I would like you to tell me after looking through this what the ACA means to you and anything else you want to tell me. So what does the ACA mean to you? You can write it out in a little paragraph. You can do a quick 1-minute video, but I want you to submit for homework after watching this. What does the ACA mean to you? Thanks for listening to the ACA module website.